Hello everyone, this is the unknown astrologer. So today I got the birth details of a famous Indian cricketer, ex-Indian cricketer. So I thought I will do uh, an episode on his horoscope. So let me just quickly open the chart and then I will take it up from there. So this is uh, the Kundli. Now, I don't want to use the name because it becomes a clickbait video, and people who are not students of astrology will also click and watch, which does not solve the purpose. Hence, the name will not be there. But he was a winner of the 2011 World Cup, one of the most important players India has had in the recent past. So let's quickly get into the details. The first thing first, it is the Lagna is in Shatabhisha third Charan. Okay, so as I have told earlier on in that actor's chart, Shatabhisha Janma is a rare incarnation. And people of Satabhisha, Magha, Uttara Phalguni, especially these three ascendant nakshatras can achieve distinction or could be of distinct personality types at least, and will be separated from the rest more often than not. If the dashas support and if the overall chart is good, then there is almost a certainty. If the dashas are not good or the charts, the planetary placements are not good, then yes, people can be normal, but even then Sattvisha birth could be in the fringe, could be doing things which normal people are not doing. So if you can see Sattvisha ascendant lord in the 8th, now this will give us indications that this person may not be of a very sound health, because ascendant lord is in 8th and it is conjunct Mars, which could be true, which is true in this case. The person fought a rare disease. And let's quickly get to the profession first. So you can clearly see that Sun and Mercury are in the 10th house. Okay, now Sun rules 7th, Mercury rules 5th and 8th, but this person is a cricketer. So we need to have a third house relationship and the sixth house relationship for anybody to become a sports person, because third and sixth will become very important houses. Now Mercury by default becomes the lord of the third and the sixth. So that is one condition fulfilled at a broad level, because Mercury in 10th will show that. Even that in that popular Virat Kohli horoscope, you can see that horoscope is of Dhanu Lagna, and the 10th house becomes this thing, Virgo. So it's pretty easy to find the role of Mercury in all sports people more than the role of Mars. Mars gives you energy to fulfill sporting duties. Mars is needed, but may not be needed at the 10th house level directly. It is more of a necessity with the first house, because you have to have that kind of energy and vitality to play the sport. So here Mars is conjunct the ascendant lord, which is a good thing. Now, if you look at from the moon lagna, so the ruler of third from moon sits in the 10th house, which is sun. Sun rules third from moon, it sits in the 10th. 10th. Okay, and the 10th house itself becomes the sixth from moon. So the profession has the energy of sixth house, because the third house itself is the sixth from moon, and also has the energy of third house, because sun becomes the third from moon and sits in 10th, and it is conjunct with the natural third lord of Mercury and the natural sixth lord of Mercury again. So this gives us a double triple impact of third six. Another thing which has to be noted here is that the 10th lord is in the sign of Virgo, again the sixth amsha. So you will find a lot of 3636 repetition here, which goes to show that this person can become a sports person. And whether he will do well in that or not, that will depend on the dashas mostly. But there is a strong likelihood that this person will be in sports. Now, Jupiter goes to ninth house. His father became his guru here. Okay, but the ninth lord is in 12th, so there are issues with father. Ninth lord is conjunct Ketu, which shows at some stage or at some level a cutoff or a separation from father, a father moving away from him or his mother or both of them or either of them. It shows that because ninth lord in 12th shows father going away, but with Ketu it shows even more of that. As I have mentioned in the last video on that actor's chart as well, Venus in Makar almost always gives you a desirable personality. People like you. A lot of supermodels will have Venus in Makar. And this person was the most stylish and the most one of the most good looking cricketers India has ever had. Venus is in Makar. Okay. In that actor's chart, even Moon is in Makar. So his emotions and his eyes and his voice all became uh, a very popular thing in India. Here, Moon is not in Makar. Okay, Moon is in the sign of uh, Gemini, which also shows that he's naturally inclined to be in sports or team ventures because Moon becomes the karaka of your man. Moon's nakshatra is Ardra. Ardra is the most physicalized nakshatra. People of Ardra rising, especially, and to some extent of Moon, go into professions in which body is used more than the mind. Relatively, it's relative in which body becomes more prominent. This guy is not Ardra nakshatra in the Lagna. It's just in the Moon, so the impact is less. Now, early on in his life, he was born in the Dasha of Rahu because that is because of Satpisha Nakshatra. So the early ages till the age of 15, he was under Rahu Dasha. Rahu in the sixth is one of the best placement of Rahu. But Rahu is in second from Moon. That shows issues in the family, issues in his parents' family. Mother and father might have some issues. So it's in the sixth house, which shows he was thrown into competition. There was somebody who was pushing him into doing some difficult tasks, which he completed. And then the Dasha of Jupiter started, 1996 onwards. That after 3 4 years, I think in 2001, he made the India debut in Jupiter Mercury. Mercury in the 10th house justifies the India debut. Even Jupiter Saturn can justify that. I don't know the exact date, but Saturn becomes a Lagnesh, so it can. But Mercury gives more of a chance of making a big impact at the national or international level because it's in the 10th house, and in the 10th house have to socially elevate. The karaka for fame or social dignity is the 10th from moon. Dashas of the Mahadashas, especially of the Lord of 10th from moon, invariably gives you social upliftment. Jupiter Mahadasha was the 10th from moon. Okay, so that gives you recognition. Fame and love comes from the fifth amsha, not the 10th amsha. 10th amsha shows respect and repute and high profile and dignity and social elevation, etc. But whether people love you or not, that depends on the fifth. So Jupiter here sits in the fifth from Moon. Okay, so if you see the dasha, it was in Jupiter Mercury when he became an instant star. So Mercury is the fifth lord. Jupiter sits in fifth from Moon. Mercury sits in 10th, and Jupiter rules 10th from Moon. So we have two tens and two fives in the Mahadasha Antardasha combination, giving rise to fame and success. The best time of his life, as far as achievement is concerned, material achievement is concerned, without a doubt, was Jupiter Rahu. That was the time when he won the World Cup. India won the 50 over World Cup. Now, Jupiter Rahu, as I've always mentioned, if Jupiter allows, Rahu fulfills. Whatever Jupiter allows, Rahu fulfills. Okay, so Jupiter allows here 10th from moon, it allows fame, success, public reputation, social dignity. Sitting in 5th from moon shows fame and love and admiration. Rahu says, okay, I'll do it. Rahu in 6th. But Jupiter also says it's the second lord, it shows Marak. Rahu also, fulfills the role of a disease because it's in the 6th house. Jupiter rules second from Lagna, Rahu sits in second from moon. It's a double two double second house impact and a sixth house impact because of Rahu sitting in the sixth house. So there was a disease which was later cured because the next dasha was of Saturn, which is of Lagnesh, which improves health overall. But yes, ascendant lord is in eighth house, so health will be a concern. Slowly in the dasha of Saturn, this guy faded from the public eye. He's not that much into things after sports like commentary or coaching, etc. at this stage because of the dasha of the planet plays in eighth house, which keeps you kind of away from the limelight. But in the Mahadasha of Mercury, which will start 2031, you can expect that there could be some public work again because Mercury again rules the fifth and sits in the 10th, which shows public life again. Not as much as Jupiter, which was Vibra Mahadasha, gave him a big splash, and that was the biggest first time he became famous because Jupiter rules 10th from Moon. So 10th from Moon, see, 10th from Moon shows that people will know you because it's not a physical thing. People knowing you is an emotional thing, or it's a mental thing that they know you. You know, you can't measure it in terms of, you can't touch it. So 10th from Moon is the single largest karaka for social dignity and social elevation. If that 10th from Moon has some connection with the fifth house, then that shows fame and love also, which was here because Jupiter sits in fifth from Moon and aspects the natural fifth. So it has a double impact on fifth, 10th from Moon. You know, all of these circumstances coming together shows that. Now I'm not going into Navmansh and Dashmansh because see, for major public events, D1 chart is sufficient. Okay, it is sufficient. For nitty gritties of life, for private events, we have to go to T9, and for specific work related things, we have to see D10, which is not needed for major public events. Things which we know as outsiders, as people who have not met him, are all in the D1 chart. As I've always mentioned, look at it from Chandra Lagna, Janam Lagna, and also Sun Lagna for fame. So you will also notice that Jupiter rules fifth from Sun as well. So okay, let me just sum it up. Jupiter. Let's see the fifth amshas connected with Jupiter and the 10th amshas connected with Jupiter one by one. Let's start with fifth. Okay, Jupiter sits in fifth from Moon. That is one. Aspects the fifth house from Lagna, that is 2, and owns the fifth from Sun, that is 3. So from all the 3 ascendants, Jupiter has a fifth Amsha connection. Number 2. Now let's see the 10th connection. Jupiter rules the 10th from Moon. Okay. And is there any other 10th connection? No. So there is one 10 connection, which is the most important 10, because as I said, people knowing you is not a material thing, it is a more of an emotional thing. And the other 10 impact here is that the 10th from Sun is Sun itself, which is in the 10th house. So 10th from Sun is in the 10th house, which is a good placement to have. So Jupiter rules 5th, has a connection with 5th from all 3 Lagnas, and has a connection from 10th from Moon, which is the most important 10 for public respect. And Sun rules 10th from Sun and sits in the 10th from Lagna, which is a big plus. For career in sports, we have to see 3 and 6 having a role with 10. So here we have Sun ruling 3rd from Moon sitting in 10, Mercury the natural ruler of 3 and 6 in 10, and the 10th house, the entire 10th house falls in the 6th from Moon. So this is how you judge horoscopes, and this horoscope is reliable, this time of birth is reliable. That is because of the Satabhisha nakshatra in the rising, in the ascendant, which shows a rare birth, which shows somebody who will be very different from the masses, or people or masses might want to be like him or not be like him. Something extraordinary is seen in Magha, Satabhisha and Uttara Phalguni. Alright guys, this is my analysis of this cricketer's chart. In order to reach out to me for personal discussions, my WhatsApp number is 790 540 1688. Thank you. Bye bye.